Yo, what is up? What is up? Here we go. Right back at it again. We have a officials timeout at the Jerry Richardson Stadium in Charlotte. 6:53 to go in the first, and Rice has the ball in their first possession down at the Charlotte 24. It's 2nd and 3. UNC-Charlotte got the ball first after Rice won the toss and deferred. Took it down off the two big penalties against Rice to extend drives. Down to the 12, actually down to the 3, I think. Stalled out, and they kicked the field goal. And that's the first possession of the game now. Rice has the ball on their first drive. This game was really weird. It opened, let's see, there's a 4.5 I see at one place, a 5 at another. Circa opened 4.5. The game actually got bet as high as 6. I made it 6.5 Rice, and it crashed way down early to sometime Tuesday night, Wednesday, but it's been sitting in this 1.5, 2.5 range all the way until the very end, where a couple of places actually went as low as 1. And I just don't understand, like, for the world of me, how that UNC-Charlotte continues to take money. Tim Albin was a great coach at Ohio U. He won a MAC championship there. They won 10 games, 3 straight seasons. This team that he's fielding at UNC-Charlotte is not good enough to win games. If they win any games this year against one AA team, something will have happened to the other team. A barrage of injuries, freak turnovers, something that doesn't allow it. They cannot win games in this conference. It won't happen. So the fact that Rice isn't getting any respect, they played hard, got a good win in their opener, were a little outclassed in their one loss at Houston. So 2-1 in this game, conference opener, Thursday night game, very well coached. Easy for me to have Rice here. Pretty big bet, big enough to where in the Westgate College Football Contest I actually used Rice and had to get all my plays in for the weekend by kickoff of the game. So everything very businesslike on that drive on offense. You just do what you're supposed to do. You beat up on a bad team. You take it right down the field and ram it right up their ass. And Rice has done so. Primarily on the ground. Chase Jenkins has thrown 2 passes for 12 yards. The last one came on the 1st and goal play from the 9, a play fake out of a bunch formation, kind of a wishbone type formation, and it's complete to Drayden Dickman. And at 4:25 in the first, Rice 6-3, 9 plays, 75 yards, 426. They'll give it back to UNC-Charlotte with a 7-3 lead. So great work on the ground. The play fake for the touchdown pass caught UNC-Charlotte completely off guard. Could not ask for anything else. Just a perfect start to the game there. I'll also be along with you tonight for the NFL game. There's a professional football game tonight on the shores of Lake Erie, where Buffalo looks to run their season record to 3-0 with another division game. They won at the Jets last week, and they'll try to win a division tilt against the Miami Dolphins tonight. Miami off to an 0-2 start. Rumblings of the head coach not being necessarily safe in his job. The Dolphins are already going to go through an early season bye. No, I'm sorry. There's a mini bye. Not yet. They have another game next week at home. I forgot who they have. But yeah, clearly a rocky start for Miami this season. They were humiliated by the Colts 33-8 in a game that Indianapolis did not punt. Week 1, the line was very close to a pick'em. And then last week, New England, who I believe is one of the worst 3 teams in the league, went down to Miami, a place where they never play well, and that includes their time going back to Brady and Belichick. They wouldn't even win games there with those guys. And yeah, it certainly has been an ugly start. um, Miami has a Monday night game at home next week against the Jets. Buffalo has New Orleans coming in next Sunday. That'll be one of the bigger point spreads you see all season, depending on what New Orleans does. Actually, it probably doesn't depend on what New Orleans does. They're just power rated so low to begin with. New Orleans went off the 2 home games. They go to Seattle this weekend and then all the way to Buffalo next weekend. So not a very good scheduling situation for the Saints, who are power rated near the bottom of the league to begin with. So that's where we sit tonight. The Bills are a 11-point favorite. At some places 11.5 at others. There is a 12 at a, well, no, there's not. I don't know what he's doing. He's got 12 dog 20 or 12 even money. I have no idea why they would get cute and book that. Same thing as 11, almost 11 actually. First half prices in these games. You've got the Bills laying 7 and 26. And there are some 25.5s and 25s. And in the college game, it's Rice laying a half point, dog 20 or so at close, with the game going down to 1.5, and the total was 20.5. There was a 20 out there late. So that's where we stand. The college game, I'll quickly go over, like I said, the side in that game opened kind of low. Kind of close to what the market I thought should be. I probably would not have been interested in Rice at anything more than 3, maybe small only at 4, maybe gun to head play Rice just to have a sweat. But once it was like, okay, 4.5 is open, and Circa opened 4.5, and they got bet up, and then immediately bet down. And it's the same shit every week with all this UNC-Charlotte money. And I mean, I've done well so far betting against them. I'm just going to keep doing it. I mean, if they're going to let you just ring the register every time this team plays, you have no choice but to go ahead and pile on and do it to them. So obviously Rice has ended up being a good sweat tonight. The game got down as low as 1. We're involved at 1.5. Even in the Westgate contest is 2.5. It was worthy of a play. I think it was one of the best 7 bets of the week. That's how many you have to use in that contest. You have to get it in, all of them, if you enter one of them. So once I committed to Rice at -2.5, had to put the other 6 in as well, which again, no problem, because I like it that much at anything less than 3. So far, so good. Charlotte a field goal their first trip. Rice a touchdown. I think this will get ugly. The live price is 4.5 and 45. I'll continue to update that in addition to the pro game. Still haven't quite gotten my back end guy, the graphics manager, web guy, Twitch manager, whatever you want to call it. Haven't got him to finish up yet. He still needs a few more days, but he's getting close, is what he says. So we'll see. Super excited to roll that out. This is the last week of spring training for sure. I thought we were going to start with some regular season this week and put it on Twitter that I was going to go public to the world about this stuff, but not quite there yet. I want to make sure we have it look professional, and I need all the help in my own work on Twitter or Twitch for Dummies that I can get. So it boils down basically tonight. The NFL game is like, how bad will this get? And every swinging dick in public is asking the same question. Usually in the NFL, and not always, but usually in the NFL, a team that gets dismissed and written off like the Dolphins have tonight to the whole world, where it becomes an us against the world mentality, you're probably going to get their best effort. I would think that the Dolphins being 0-2 and now they got a division game, they are off of division loss as well. You'd have to think you're going to get their best effort. And if they don't, then it's clear that they've given up on the coach. Now, how good's their best effort? I don't know. Obviously, the Bills, with the miraculous comeback against Baltimore in week 1, and then they manhandled the Jets last week. I don't know. Maybe the Jets fired their best shot against Pittsburgh in week 1, and they just didn't have much left in week 2. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. You don't want to come to predetermined conclusions. Certainly going into the season, the line of this game would not have been this high. I think we all would agree on that. So, the Dolphins off to a rocky start this season. You figure maybe the game could have been is high between 7 and 8 at the most, probably. If it were played in week one, and clearly it's not that. So you're getting a little bit of extra value with Miami if you think they're going to bother to show up tonight. That's the ultimate question. Will they show up? We don't know. Dolphins have had being in Buffalo's division for a long time. They've had plenty of history up here. The Bills opened this stadium, I think, 50 something years ago, back in the 70s. I know they played. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank. War Memorial Stadium, maybe. I know when OJ had the big season and ran for 2,000 yards. I think that was the very last year, one of the last years at their old stadium, and they've been here since. They're opening up a new stadium across the parking lot from this one. Storm Duck out for the Dolphins. Ed Oliver, Matt Milano out for the Bills. Those are the notables on the inactives. Shaq Thompson in, and that's he was, I think, trending to go yesterday. That game's going to kick in about 10 minutes, right at the quarter of the hour mark. Rice has forced a punt. Good start there. A couple of incompletions by Hurley. He's now 5 for 8, 43 yards. They did have a 4th and 3 when they punted from the 32 to the Rice 24. So, 44-yard punt out of bounds. The Rice Krispies will start their second drive at 3:02 of the first quarter at their own 24. New live line is currently 7 on top. There is some 7.5 and 45.5. I still like Rice. Unfortunately, I believe that the person or the algorithm controlling this, I'm shocked that it's this high based off the game closing line. I feel like someone's watching the same game that I am. The closing line means nothing when it's wrong. You could say what you want to about how strong the market is, this, that, and the other, but the bottom line is if this algorithm were going, just an algorithm and not human beings that were watching it, and you're going off Rice closing as a 1-point favorite, there's no way the line could be 7.5 if it's sitting 7-3. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Even with them having the ball, it should be no higher than 6 in any world, and really not even that, to be honest. Probably closer to 4.5, 5.5. So the fact is that it's 7. I can't get involved there, even though I already like the favorite to begin with, and we have a significant play on the favorite, -1.5. There were some places that closed this. There were some 2s at the end, and there were some 1s, but 1.5 we'll use for consensus purposes. There is some baseball going on. Most of the games are final. Big Fox has 2 games depending on what part of the country you live in. The Yankees lead Baltimore 2-0, bottom of the 3rd there. Chance to extend their wild card lead over everybody. Well, most importantly, the Red Sox and the pursuers there to stay ahead of Cleveland, who won today, Seattle, who won today. Houston was off. I believe today's the last day with all the oddball number of games, or if not, then certainly close to it. Any of these deficits that are 2.5 games or 3.5 games or whatever, I believe we'll get to an even number after today. And anything else that's odd, there may be some Monday or Thursday games next week to get that out of whack or back in whack. There may be a doubleheader scheduled after a rainout. I think there might even be one of those this weekend. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, that's where we stand with the baseball. There's 1 game left. The Giants and the Dodgers start a 4-game set at Chavez Ravine. Yamamoto and Webb. The Dodgers laying about $1.65, come back 50-ish, 48, whatever you want to, wherever the break points start once the line gets too high to deal at a 10-cent level. Benson has hit one in the gap for the Reds. That's going to drive in a run. And the Reds will lead Chicago 1-0. Bottom of the 4th, 1 out there. And then the other game going on besides Yankees, Baltimore, and the Reds game. Those games are both on Fox, depending on what part of the country you're living in. Anaheim and Milwaukee underway. Priester is hosting Kikuchi. The Brewers have won something like 19 straight times that this guy's pitched, and I think 12 straight starts. So let's see what happens. The Brewers closed about a 240 favorite. So the other baseball, there were 6 of them are all final. 3 baseball underway. One of them, as I told you, the Dodgers and the Giants. That one will start in 2 hours from right now. So we're all caught up there. Let's see, Rice's drive at the start at the 24, as I told you. Rice back to typical option tendencies. That time it didn't work out too well. Jenkins faked it and tried to run the option left. Charlotte had gap responsibility. They had pursuit. The end stayed home. All that stuff. Corner came up, so he lost to 3rd and 9. Inside of a minute to go in the first. And again, they get nothing here. There will be a punt. And that live line that you saw that was 7.5 will certainly go away. I'll try to keep my eye on the coin toss information in Buffalo to see what's happening there. I've actually got my door open today. I don't know if you guys can hear all that noise or not in the background. It rained today. First rain of any substance since July the 3rd in Las Vegas. And I only live about 3.5 miles south of the airport, and that's where they measure the official rain. So a lot of times the official rain count there is very similar to what I get here. I can confirm. Certainly it's been 2.5 months since any measurable rain, and yeah, pretty good deal. For an injury report in football, South Carolina quarterback Lenora Sellers is going to play at Missouri. Big deal there. He's worth probably 5 points to the line, if not more, based on based on what they've done or what they potentially would do without him, what they did last week without him. The punt for Rice was 35 yards back to the 40 of Charlotte. The fair catch was followed by a personal foul. Not smart. So UNC-Charlotte has the ball starting this drive in Rice territory at the 45. Late first quarter, clock on the move. Pretty chintzy penalty. Yards are 76 to 58. Total number of plays 14 to 12 for Charlotte. Nothing else of note so far. Obviously, the first drive for the hosts led to a field goal, and the Owls scored a touchdown there. So both teams punted the next time around. We're nearing the end of the first quarter. Trying to reassess my TV situation. I think I'm in good shape. I got all the baseball on. Earlier today, the same TVs were involved with Champions League soccer. Had to make a couple of adjustments, but yeah, all good. I'm ready to rock and roll for the night session here. No changes need to be made. Hello, questionnaire extraordinaire. Welcome to the shindig. Hopefully you're well. Good to hear from you. What's going on? You're new to the experiment, so I'll briefly clue you in. I sit here, talk about games. I watch games. I look for tendencies to show up for potential bets to try to help out my viewership. I'm going to grow it very soon when I start announcing to Twitter when the streams go live, where I have tons of followers. The feed also is simulcasted to YouTube, but Twitch is my primary spot to make this thing happen. My setup involves 9 TVs on Saturdays and Sundays. I don't need anything close to that. Basically, you guys watch me watching the games, and you'll see me inform, entertain, and educate. occasionally with some emotion involved, especially if it involves financial implications on my end. So that's where things stand. For those watching the games tonight, Miami and Buffalo, that's on Amazon Prime, about to kick off. And the college game, Rice and UNC-Charlotte, end of the first quarter, Rice 7, Charlotte 3. Live price, Rice 5.5-point favorite. Total 42, as high as 43. There is some 41.5 over, a bunch of juice as well at the end of the first quarter. Me, no opinion. Already got Rice pretty good, so nothing else to it for me. Also watching the 3 baseball games that are in progress. And again, we're about to kick off in Buffalo. The Dolphins are going to close an 11-point underdog. Total 50.5. There is some 50 as well. So let's see who's going to get it first. Ball is on the tee and Buffalo is kicking. Back to the goal line, Miami gets it, and they'll run it out to about, well, hang on, made a guy miss. Now speed, out past midfield. Good start for the Dolphins. No flags. 10 seconds in, they'll start the game in Buffalo territory. The live market was unimpressed. It's still 10, or I'm sorry, still 11. Like to think there was something to that. Maybe you have an edge if you bet the Dolphins now out past midfield. Certainly the first half. There are places that deal first half live markets. So the 47 of Buffalo officially is where they run their first play. Play fake, out to the back, give him 5. Most of the time in the NFL, these teams have their plays scripted. In a short week, I would think that the Dolphins would do that as well. Make a note that they did not start well on offense either at Indy or at home last week against New England. As a matter of fact, they were behind against the Colts 20-0 at halftime. It wasn't just the first few drives. They didn't score in the first half. And the Dolphins were down 12-0 against New England into the middle of the second quarter. So their offense had done nothing in the first quarter to this point. There's a power play to the right side, also to the back. Gain of maybe 1. It'll be 3rd and about 4 at the 41. Second quarter underway in Charlotte. My Rice Krispies lead UNC-Charlotte 7-3. And have forced Rice forces the punt after an incompletion on 3rd and 10. And so Rice takes over at their own 8, 11 seconds into the second quarter. There's a pass by Tua Tagovailoa to Tyreek Hill. He didn't have much last week, but good to see him getting involved in the offense here. Just a simple out route. Right at the sticks, give him 4 on 3rd and 4, and Miami gets a first down. Good work beating the corner off the line. Certainly the Buffalo's in some jam coverage with the 3rd short yardage situation. Good execution there by the Finns, who have it now at the 35. Shotgun, pistol, play fake. Swing it to the back. He gets the tight ends out in front. Great execution, great concept. That's Achane. And another first down for the Finns. So impressive start. Now the key is to try to find a way to get it down there and bang it in. Can't be, when you're an 11-point dog, you cannot be settling for field goals in these kind of spots. Vitally important to get 6 and not 3. Certainly they're already in field goal range in their first drive here. So that was at the 21. They give it to Gordon. He gets maybe 2. And so it'll be 2nd and 8. Yeah, there you go. I just showed the stat about the total yards. They had 15 in week 1, 18 in week 2, and they've got 28 so far just on this drive alone. Play fake to it, throws it back. It's a screen. Makes the first guy miss. Second guy miss. Washington inside the 10. I know my friend Mitch Moss mentioned earlier on his VSIN show, Sirius 158, I believe, is the radio coordinate for it. He mentioned that he thought that Washington could have a big day and liked him over a lot of the props. That was good for Mitch. What's bad for Mitch is that penalty is called back because of a hold on 71 for the Dolphins. And wash it off. Actually, it wasn't a hold. It was a man downfield. So it wasn't a screen. I thought it was. I guess, like I said, if it would have been, it would have been a legal play. Oh, he tried to come back. It was too late. Tough beat. 72 was also downfield. They just picked 71. All right, so 5-yard penalty knocks him back to 2nd and 12. This will come from the 23. He'll give us to the back. He cuts it to the outside. Nice run. Give him about 11. That's Achane again. Certainly showed some spurt there, some burst as he got to the first level and avoided the first tackler. Was able to bounce it outside. It'll be 3rd and short. We're 4 minutes into this thing. Rice excellent on 3rd and 4. Gets out. Oh, a terrible spot by the ref. They may need to look at that. They're right on the Rice sideline. It's going to be 4th and 1. That'll force a Rice timeout. I'm guessing they'll go for it if they're actually calling timeout here. No, they're punting. Well, that sucks. Maybe not. Maybe he's going to change his mind. Yeah, they're going to review this or he's going to challenge it, one or the other. Look like he got it by a clear yard. Fins, 1st and goal. I didn't see what happened. My bad. 10 minutes to go. They're down to 4. Tua gives it to the back and they lose a yard. Gordon, the carrier there. He's supposed to be the goal line back by design to limit the wear and tear of Achane over the course of the year. Good for probably those who respect the fact that he's trying to keep his bell cow back healthy. Very bad for those who invest in fantasy football leagues and want to see Achane score touchdowns. 2nd and goal at the 5 now. Clock at 9:25 and moving. Gun Tua. Dumps it off. That's Washington down to the 2 and maybe the 1. He was in motion to the right, starting on the right side. Kind of set up there as if it were he was the safety valve the whole time. Tua looked for some options in the end zone. Nothing was there, so they said, okay, well, we'll throw it to you. Everybody dropped back in his zone, caught it at the 10 and made a guy, for the first guy broke down, tried to get him at the 5. He knocked him over down to the 2. 3rd and goal, clock continuing to move. Rice and UNC-Charlotte 7-3. And no live price in this with a 4th and short like this, and they don't know what's going on. The algos a lot of times will turn off. Dolphins up the middle. They're signaling touchdown, and it is. It's Ollie Gordon banging his way in from the 2. And the Dolphins, 10 plays, 47 yards, 6:29. They're in. The coach is signaling, let's go. I don't know whether they're going for 2 or whether that means good start. Way to go. I guess we'll find out in a second here. He still looks like some sort of a drug dealer, South Beach drug dealer. I love the way the guy dresses. Snap, down, up. Got it. 7-0 Miami. 6:29 into the game. Bills to get the ball as an 11-point favorite. They're down 7. Live price coming shortly. I have no idea what happened in this Rice game. It looks like they actually did punt. I don't see the ball on their side. Yeah, they did. All right, well, the good news is that I hate the fact that you're punting in that spot. The good news is somebody who has Rice already pregame is that you obviously think that their offense can't go down the field and score any sort of substantial points. That first drive, they got enough yards to put together a field goal, but it was aided by a couple of penalties, and I don't necessarily think it's sustainable. So we'll see. Anyways, the punt was a 55-yarder all the way down to the 28. So UNC-Charlotte starts from there. 13 minutes to go in the half. I still think Rice got screwed on the spot. I don't understand that. It clearly, to me, was a first down. I don't know. Like I said, they're showing there's a face mask that they missed as well on the quarterback. So, you know, a couple of things worked against my Rice Owls on that one. But, hey, no complaints. Let's just move on, keep your head down, and beat the shit out of them anyways. The live price on the Bills is down to 6.5. Total is 52.5, 53, 53.5. Pretty consistent. I would say just based on what I've seen from Miami on this very first drive and what I've seen from Buffalo's defense over the course of the season, Miami is certainly live at this number. You know, obviously you'd want to have the 11 or the 11.5 in pocket, but now you're talking about giving them for the game 13.5 just based on the start. I think that's more than fair, even with Buffalo getting into halftime here. And if the Dolphins were to hold it to 3 or even nothing here, that line's going to go down some more. So I think you're getting a number with Miami that you may not see if Buffalo doesn't counter that touchdown with a touchdown of their own. Dolphins defense has been shoddy at times, or shabby, either one of those words I was trying to spit out. But I think part of that's had to do with their offense being so bad. They're setting up the defense in bad field positions. They're playing behind, often behind the sticks on both sides of the ball. So, I'm not to say that, and they're showing this Bills new stadium. It looks really, really nice. I don't know the cost of the construction of that thing, but I think they're going to throw a roof on it, which, some people don't like that. You're starting to take away the weather advantage or disadvantage situations that have been in play for a long time in places like Minneapolis and Buffalo. Green Bay still got it. Chicago still got it. Cleveland, to an extent, still has it, especially later in the season. Miami has it for the heat later in the season. But really, more or less, most of the weather games have gone the way of the dodo bird here in the year 2025. Kick return out to the 30 for Buffalo. That's where they'll start. UNC-Charlotte somehow still has the ball. They converted on 3rd and 9 here. That's unfortunate. Actually, a big gain. It's a tight end out past midfield. So Ollie Gordon, the first touchdown, for those of you who are grading those sort of props. First touchdown score. We got a personal foul here against Buffalo. That's soft. I hate it when they call that shit. Just some pushing and shoving there. They had a double team on 11. He shoves 85. 57 shoves him. 57 gets caught with the penalty. And then you hear the dumbass TV announcers, it's always the second guy who gets caught. Been hearing that shit for 30 years. All right. Bills start at their own 15. After that, Allen in the gun. One back off to the right. Fires it left. Almost an amazing catch. Knocked away at the end by the corner. He's wanting a flag. I guess he's going to get it. Is that Coleman? I think that's a horseshit call. He went up with one hand to begin with. It wasn't like the defensive back was holding his hand. They may take this away. Let's see. Jones on the coverage against Coleman. Nope. They didn't take shit away. It's a first down. I take it back. Before any of the stuff that I saw before they put it on camera, he's got his jersey. He's actually holding him by the top of his shoulder pads. Certainly can't do that. Oh, hey, here we go. Big loss as UNC-Charlotte fumbles it out almost to midfield. 3rd and 18. Clock's still moving there. Trips right for UNC-Charlotte. 2nd and 5 for the Bills. Quarterback draw, missed tackle. Another, oh my goodness. Oh, for Christ's sakes. First down, UNC-Charlotte. Right at the line of the game, maybe another yard. 3rd and 18, he gets 19. Bad job, Bryce. We got an injury. It looks like it might be is it the quarterback? Yeah, the Rice coaches are calling for UNC-Charlotte's entire training staff to get over there to help him out. It looks like it is the quarterback. He's holding his left knee. This will be terrible news for them. Yeah, and the people that are booking it live don't understand. Let me see real fast. If he's out, that could be, you might have to go live on this. He's the one player that they have that actually has a pulse. Hang 1 second. We're going to be on standby here for a potential live bet on Rice. They are going to take a timeout. 9:42 to go in the second. 7-3 Rice. Live price 3.5. Dog money 3.5 flat. 40 flat on the total. Grayson Loftus is the backup. Harrell played at North Carolina. This kid Loftus was at Duke, played 2 games last year. He was a pretty highly touted guy in high school. Obviously transferred from Duke once they got their guy in from Tulane. I don't know. I have to see Loftus, I guess, a little bit. But as of now, be ready to pull the trigger. Bills are on the move here. 2nd and 7. Said they had a decent running play. And my Twitter is saying that too here. Clock moving, 5:45 to go. 2nd and 7. They're all the way down to the Miami 30. Allen back, zings it to the tight end. Is that Knox, I believe? He's down to the 20. That'll be Kincaid. That'll be a first down as the Bills continue their assault. Right down the field is an 11-point favorite you figure would in their first possession. First down to 21. Allen under center, offset eye. He's checking to something touching his helmet. That's a toss to the right. Back gets maybe 1 yard out of it. Johnson the carrier. Clock continues to move. Loftus in for UNC-Charlotte now. Let's watch this drive to see what happens here. I want to especially see what he looks like throwing the ball. Those of you who were with me on Saturday saw what happened when we were able to watch. Once Crowder for Troy State was out of the game and they went to their backup, it was easy to tell real quickly that they had no chance to move the ball at all against Memphis State's defense. That's Kincaid again on some sort of an option pass. Allen and Dolphins, that's what they gave up, and that's what Allen took. 7 plays, 85 yards, 427. Touchdown was, I think, 19 yards. Nope, 20 yards. Kincaid, the tight end, lined up to the left side in a slot type position. Just ran kind of a baby out, sort of like I said, an option route. Just kind of fell in between where the Dolphin defenders were. Allen caught him there. Extra point good, and it's 7-all. 4:04 to go in the first quarter. Live price coming shortly. UNC-Charlotte is in the red zone. After a 2nd and 7 pass by Loftus, which was to the end zone. Incomplete, but there was a flag against Rice for interference. Half the distance. Take it down to the 13. No bueno. So my thought process on Buffalo and Miami Live obviously didn't come to fruition. Thank God I didn't tell you to pull the trigger. New live price 9.5. Total 55.5. 7-7. Not sure if those were all scripted or not, but certainly a good start to both offenses. Let's see if the Dolphins can counter. UNC-Charlotte got a 2-yard gain. A complete pass by the quarterback on a keeper. A complete pass by Loftus to Gainey for 1. And an incomplete pass to Brooks to set up a field goal from the 8. Spotted at the 15. 25 yards, good. And 12 plays, 64 yards. 4:58 off the clock. 7:55 to go until the half. Rice 7. UNC-Charlotte 6. Live price in that game. Rice now 4.5. There is a 3.5 out there in town as well. Now a 4 also popped up. So there's your consensus. There's your median. 39.5 on the totals are widely in agreement here. That third down pass play, I have no idea how the quarterback hung onto the ball. Rice had 2 guys that were hitting him when he threw it. One of them should have went for the strip. Oh well. That said, the pass was nowhere near where it needs to be. I hope that if this Harrell's not playing, I hope there's no long-term damage, of course. But if he's not going to play, I hope that Rice will make the necessary adjustments to ensure that they're going to force them to try to throw it and not let the quarterback beat him with his legs, or the running game beat him. Harrell was 8 for 13 to 73 yards. He did have to take a couple of deep shots, so you have to respect that. Washington returns the kick. He did have a punt return for a touchdown last week. This one was out to the 33, but there is a flag down for the Fins. Anytime you got a flag on a kick, it's 90% of the time going to be against the receiving team. Shocking. Illegal block in the back. So the Fins, 33 yards combined in the first quarter and 2 first downs with no points. Tonight, 52 yards, 4 first downs, and a touchdown. See if they can add to it here as we go inside of 4 minutes when the drive starts at the 15. Tagovailoa drops back and throws it to the back. That is, sorry, not the back. Washington slot. It's incomplete. Probably should have been caught. Probably should have been a better pass. Combine both things and you get an incompletion. And now they're working from behind the sticks. Not ideal when you're an 11-point dog pregame. Rice will start their third drive. I think it's their third drive. Yeah, from the maybe their fourth. From their own 25 for a touchback. Miami pounds it out to the 20. That'll be Achane again, 3rd and 5. Clock moving. Crowd into it in Orchard Park. Bills have everybody in the box. They're showing that they're going to come here. Let's see if they back out or not. Nope, they did back out, kind of. Tuis fumbles a snap. Oh, but he recovers. Gets it back and runs for about 3, maybe only 2. Either way, the Dolphins are going to have to punt it. They brought everybody up there, but they did back out to where the linebackers were playing a zone right at the sticks. So be curious to see if, but I hadn't seen Buffalo show that in any of those third and intermediate situations in the first 2 games. Although anything they did, first of all, I didn't watch a lot of the Jets game because it was a bloodbath. Second of all, anything that you do against Lamar Jackson is completely irrelevant compared to when you play against any other quarterback in the league, really. There's not even a good comparison on the game plan. Buffalo, good punt by the Dolphins. Buffalo returns it all the way out past the 35, and that's where they'll start their next drive. 2:24 to go in the first. Live price coming. Yeah, this is Scott Abel at Rice. 20th program in the history of the program. Gun choice offense. 2-1. First new Rice coach to start that way since 1972. He was at Davidson College. Did an absolutely incredible job there. They're showing the graphic on ESPN. I remember I've done 1AA work for many, many years. Probably the last 15. And yeah, Davidson was habitually and traditionally rated as one of the worst teams. Remember that Pioneer League doesn't have scholarships, so they're already at a disadvantage compared to the rest of 1AA. But that guy, he really elevated that program, and they actually, like I said, were in the playoffs and competitive in their playoff games a couple times. Rice has it. Again, let's see what happens here. Yeah, looks like a whole lot of no good. Up the middle for 3. 3 more and then lose 1. So they'll punt it. I'm got the box score feed ahead now. Osborne, Beamer, Paul Johnson, and Rich Rod. Those are 4 pretty good coaches to influence your offense. Nice little mix. A whole lot of complex run schemes. So the punt is 39 yards and it's fair caught. That's where UNC-Charlotte starts. 6 minutes to go in the quarter. And Loftus is still in the game. Harold not. Keep you posted there. Certainly Rice's offense has not looked good in the last few drives. Although they were cheated out of a first down. I don't still understand why that last one, they didn't try to challenge it. I have no idea. It was clearly a first down and a face mask, so they didn't call either one. Harold done for the day. That's confirmed. 7-6 Rice. UNC-Charlotte starts at their own 32. First play is a gain of 4 by Gainey. The second one's a complete pass to Javon Nicholas for 23 yards. They're into Rice territory again. So UNC-Charlotte's been living on the bad side of the field for me most of this half outside of one drive. They've had the field position and they've made it work. Buffalo gains 9 on first down. Clock moving. 2nd and 1. Hunter Green's thrown 81 pitches through 7 for the Reds. He's shutting out the Cubs 1-0. Pretty shitty crowd tonight at the old Great American Ballpark, if I must say myself, given the Reds are their position in the playoff standings here. They actually haven't even gotten to their season win total yet. It's still very much in the balance. They've been playing like ass recently. They were swept in Sacramento last weekend and did win 2 or 3 in St. Louis before the Cubs come in for these 4. End around by Buffalo. Easy first down there. Gain of 3, gain of 8, gain of 5. That's Smith's long run of the day. He's 3 for 6 now. So 2nd and 5 for Rice. Now gain of 2 for Smith. He gets it again. So 3rd and 3 at the Rice 23. Kincaid another catch, I guess. 3 for 41 for him. Clock moving late first quarter for the Bills. They are back in Miami territory again at the 31. Bunch formation, motion left. Pitches to the back. Bangs his way for maybe 4. Johnson again. And it's up to Buffalo whether they want to run a play or not. Otherwise, it'll be the end of the quarter. He's on the ball. Does not snap it. So, 2nd and 6 at the Miami 27 for the Bills. First quarter is over. Miami touchdown, Buffalo touchdown, Miami punt, and Buffalo on the move. Live price, Bills 13, 13.5. It's even higher than what it was pregame. Yikes. Live total 54.5, over money 55.5 flat. 7-7, end of 1. Charlotte calls timeout at the 3:14 mark. It's 3rd and 3. Live price basically picking 37.5, 38.5 under. Loftus's pass is incomplete. Clock stops 2:27. 4th and 3 at the 23. Don't know what the UNC-Charlotte kicker's range is. I feel like he's got to be good to at least 40. And it's good. 2:23 to go in the half. Rice gets it at halftime. Let's see if they can score before the half and double dip. 40-yard field goal, 8 plays, 45 yards, 3:34 off the clock. UNC-Charlotte 9, Rice 7. So drive summary in this game. Charlotte, Field goal, punt, punt, field goal, field goal. Rice, touchdown, punt, punt, punt. Fifth possession coming for the Owls. I need points here. I would prefer 7. I'll take 3. Let's reassess control here. Get the first half cash and the draw off. Especially against a backup quarterback. No excuses. Green actually had a no-hitter for the Reds, broken up with a double in the 7th by the Cubs. Reds 1-4-1, Cubs 0-1-0 at stretch time. There is one out in the bottom of the 7th. Pass for Charlotte batted down. That set up the field goal. Bills first play of the quarter. On 2nd and 6, they get about 4. It's going to be 3rd and about 2. Again, the live price 13, 13.5, 55.5 on the total. 55.5 seems extreme, but I mean, shit, you've seen what the Bills have done so far. If the other team scores with them, at least. Live price on the rise. Game against Charlotte. Lots of 1.5, 1. Rice still the favorite. Which, listen, if they were laying 7 earlier when it was 7-3, has to be still a favorite even though they're getting beat. Cook with a run down to the 17. First down Bills. Total in the Rice-Charlotte game, 38.5 now. Drive will start after the touchback at the 35. I'm sorry, the 25. This Allen since 2020, what a remarkable level of consistency. Everywhere between 41 and 46 touchdowns every year. Gunn this time. Drops back, Miami rushes 5. Throw to the end zone is dropped by Kincaid. Had single coverage out there. That's clearly what they were targeting against Davis. It was good coverage. I'm not sure if he got a hand on it or not, but certainly had something to do with the outcome of the play. Yeah, good coverage. I think he did get a hand on it, even though his back was to the quarterback. Shotgun, trips left, throws it to over the middle, complete. Fighting for yardage, give him 8, down to the 10. 3rd down. Rice, 12-yard gain. Jenkins to Dickman. And quarterback runs for 1 yard out of bounds. 2-minute warning. Rice, 1.5 point favorite. 37.5, 38 the total. Slant over the middle, complete to Coleman on 3rd and 2, and the Bills have a goal to go. Absolute bullet. And great hands by Coleman to bring it in. Douglas saw it coming, couldn't break it up. It was too late. Clock moving, 12 to go in the 2nd quarter. Bills trying to score on their 2nd drive just as they did on the 1st. Big formation here. Allen's going to call timeout. Didn't like what he saw. 12 minutes to go before halftime. It's 1st and goal at the 5. 7-7. Miami and Buffalo knotted up. Live price, Bills 13, 13.5. Total 55.5. Seems about right for the game being 11. Bills are favored to score probably a touchdown. If I had to pick the number of points from here, it's supposed to be 7 if they score a touchdown and 3 a field goal. and 0 if they go for it on 4th down and don't get it, or miss a field goal or turn it over. I'd say the average points from here, Buffalo probably like 4 to 4.5, and they get the ball first, obviously, at halftime. Motion, play fake, roll left. Allen dumps it to the other tight end. Touchdown, Buffalo. What a weird play that was. Hawes is the receiver. He actually was in motion right and then back to left. He fell down. Yeah, play fake right to Cook, and then he rolls left. And of course, he had options. He could have ran it. Finally, at the last second, he decided to dump it off. Little shovel. 11:54 to go before the half. Bills, two drives and 2 touchdowns. They lead it 14-7. Live price coming. Rice. Jackson runs it for no gain. He's got 8 for 54. Except for that 26-yard carry, they've done a good job of keeping him in check. They're at their own 38. It's 3rd and 9. UNC-Charlotte actually wants the ball back. They call timeout. So 145 left. 3rd and 9 at their own 38. Rice, 2 on the live price and 39 at Chris. That's the only one that I see. I submit that to be a good sign. Maybe there's something happened that I'm not aware of yet. Guess we'll find out in a minute. Ollie Gordon, 40 to 1 to score the first touchdown. That seems like absurd. I mean, given the fact that he's one of their favorites to score at all, if they're going to score, and the fact that they were, it was a non-zero chance they were going to take the ball if they won the toss, and the Bills almost always defer. And the Dolphins have been so bad in the first quarter. Matter of fact, if I had to pick one Miami player to score the first touchdown, it probably would have been him. Crazy. All right. Rice makes him pay for that bullshit. First down pass from Jenkins to Dickman. He's been the man so far. Jenkins is 4 for 4. Dickman's caught 3 of them. And that plays a 10-yard gain out near midfield. Charlotte did put pressure on him. New live price after the Bills touchdown is Buffalo 14.5 and 56.5. Pinnacle has 13.5 minus money. It's only minus 22. You could actually lay that and have a small edge if you think Circa, Buckeye, and a couple others that are using 14.5 have the correct number. I don't know what to think. After the first drive, I thought that the price was too high on Buffalo at 6.5. So what do I know? I mean, Miami looks like if they get stopped here, they might quit. I mean, I almost think there's value in laying anything less than 14.5, 14 flat, 13.5 minus money. I think would be all, worth a look. There's a reason why these pitchers fly the night before road games. Yankees didn't get into Baltimore until like 4 or 5 a.m. last night. Fried obviously is well rested. We're in the bottom of the 60s, only throwing 70 pitches. Baltimore can't do shit against him. It's 3-0 Yankees. Dolphins return the kick, 20-25. He slips and falls. That's Washington again, I think, at the 27. Hunter Green right through the 8th, 92 pitches. They're in order. He's faced, I think, 3 over the minimum. Cubs will have the top of the order in the 9th. It's a 1-0 game. Big play by Rice. Excellent work there. And they're in field goal range. Hey! All right. Excellent. So the Dickman play, and then Jackson with an 18-yard carry to the 34. Looked like a flag. They did not call it. 1:25 to go. Tagovailoa rolls left for the Dolphins on the first play of this drive. Fires it to Hill. Buffalo had a couple of defenders in the area. One of them got a hand on it. 14-7. Option Rice. Oh, cutback by the quarterback. Juke. And he gone. All right. Chase Jenkins. Take it to the house. Dun, 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 bump, dun, dun, bump. Rise. 13-9. Point pending. At 6 plays, 75 yards, and 105. Very quickly done. 1:17 to go before the half. Rice, 14. UNC-Charlotte, 9. Yeah, 1:18 left. Curious to see what they do here. Just for the simple 1:17. Sorry. Just for the simple fact that they get the ball at half, but the backup quarterback's in. I see 4.5 and 5 on the live market, 44.5 on the total. I agree with both. I think Rice should be a 1-point favorite, so 6 where I would use it, not 5. And 21.5 at halftime. I agree with 44.5. That's assuming that there are no more points scored here, so probably the 44.5 in my mind would be a little bit low, almost like playing with the free roll here. 3rd and 9, Tua rolls left, buying time, fires. Almost a carbon copy of the first down play. The exception, the receiver was not Hill this time. And Bills force a 3 and out, and it might be getting late early for the Dolphins. That play wasn't even close to being open. That's just bad concept and scheme, and then even worse execution when there's nothing there. Punt. Back to the 27. Nobody actually touched him. I guess maybe somebody tapped him on the way by. He didn't get up. 10:44 to go in the second. Bills, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. They lead 14-7. They'll be aiming for a third after the timeout. Live prices are going to come in a minute. They will not be pretty. Loftus still in at quarterback for UNC-Charlotte after the Harrell injury. Short complete pass for 9 yards to McGee. And Gainey, 37-yard carry. So that's the first real long running play for the UNC-Charlotte offense. And that'll take it all the way down into Rice territory. And there's enough time left. They have a timeout as well. So plenty of time left here for the bad guys to chime in before the half. Certainly Rice's touchdown came too late, or too early, although you never want to make that kind of comment. You just need points when you can get them. Loftus's pass incomplete. Loftus's pass also incomplete. And so it's 3rd and 10 at the Rice 29, 33 seconds left. Rice has 2 timeouts, UNC-Charlotte 1. Live price on the Bills, 16.5 is pretty much consistent with the rest of the market. Pinnacle's 14.5 minus a bunch this time, which, I mean, given that Circa and a couple others had 14.5 before that drive, I don't think it could be anything less than 17. I mean, Miami didn't do anything the last couple drives. The Bills haven't shown any sign yet of being stopped. As long as they're on the gas, I have to think that they can score whenever they want to against this defense. No matter how well the Dolphins have prepared, it's clear that this is an obvious mismatch. So I think that anything, this 16 and a half stuff is too cheap. Total is 55.5. Again, if I didn't know Miami wouldn't quit, I think over would be right. But tough to say. There aren't a lot of possessions here. We played 20 minutes, and there have only been a total of 5 possessions. 1 touchdown for the Dolphins, 2 for Buffalo, and then 2 Miami punts. One-sided rivalry. Buffalo 13 out of 14. A lot of that's been with Allen, obviously. No accident. Quarterback keeps it for UNC-Charlotte for 5 yards. Clock moving down all the way to 4 seconds. They call timeout from the Rice 24. 4th and 5, they'll kick a field goal. So UNC-Charlotte has put together some decent plays and has moved the ball and had some decent starting field position for a good part of the half. Never worse than their own 25. All their drives, with the exception of one 3-and-out early in the half, ended in Rice territory. And, they got 3 field goals, a punt. And this field goal from 42 is no good. Excellent. So that'll end the half. Rice 14, UNC-Charlotte 9. Rice closed 1.5-point favorite, 42.5. The first half was a half, and mostly 20.5, 21s. There was a 20. First half goes over the total, and Rice gets the money. Rice gets the ball to start the second half. Halftime prices will be coming shortly. Cook on 2nd and 4 for the Bills into Miami territory. I mean, there's nothing to this. It's just put a hat on a hat. Once Cook gets it and gets past the first level, there's nobody really at the second level. Tight end gets a block on the safety. The left tackle doesn't even have anybody to block. Bills into Miami territory at the 41, clock moving, 9:15 to go. Allen pumps, tucks it, throws it to the back, incomplete. Another one of those flips. Second and 10, 9:09 to go. Out to Coleman again. He gets 8. Be 3rd and short. Even when the Bills are behind the sticks for a play, they're not behind the sticks for more than one play. It's crazy. They just get their yards back whenever. So the first half in Charlotte, the drive summary for as follows: field goal, punt, punt, field goal, miss field goal for the home team. For Rice, touchdown, punt, 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 touchdown. So yardage at halftime, 203 to 164 in favor of UNC-Charlotte. They ran 40 plays to 24. Time of possession, 18 to 11. So they're doing what they want to on that side. Harrell is 8 for 13 for 73 yards. He did get injured in the second quarter. He's out. Dolphins pitch and catch. First down. Bills. They're well into field goal range at this point. They're not looking for that, though. Loftus is 4 for 8 off the bench, 41 yards. Of course, he had one long completion for, I think, 23 to Nicholas. Yeah, I don't see, as long as Rice tries to stop the run, I'm not sure this Loftus can beat him. That's a good concept by Buffalo. Shavers got to the outside. There's nobody there. Miami's coverage wasn't ready for it. There is a man down for the Fins. First and 10 Buffalo, 8:07 to go before the half, 14-7. I'm guessing they'll take a timeout. Live price 17.5, 18. Total 57, 58. And in between. And let's see if the Reds go back to green for the 9th or if they go to the bullpen. I know what I prefer to do. They do if I'm rooting for the Reds to get to the playoffs. Specifically root for them in this game. Keep them in there. So the Bills have converted all their third downs, but they've been all 3rd and 2s or less. I mean, literally, they've all been short, 3rd and shorts. There's been No pressure by the Dolphins to make them work at all. Halftime price, Rice a half on top. I do see one even money at Circus, so one the dog 20, but most of the most of the halves are flat or dog money as well offshore. I think one flat's the right line with Rice up by 5. They get the ball first. I actually think 1.5's a better line than either one of those two. Not interested in laying it. I have Rice minus 1.5 for the game. I have Rice minus 2.5 in the Westgate contest for college football this week. I liked it enough to be able to use that as one of my 7 plays, and the fact that you have to have all 7 of them in with your original play to put the contest in to motion. The deadline's not until Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific, so the fact that I was willing to go more than 24 hours beforehand using Rice as a play tells me how much that I liked Rice pregame. And at halftime, my opinion hasn't changed given the fact that UNC-Charlotte's starting quarterback's done for the night, and Rice has a good coach. Rice gets the ball at halftime. I liked Rice before the game. All these things add up to make where I would bet on Rice again if I had to. I recommend Rice as a play at minus a half, even money or better, which is available again at a lot of places offshore. I would lay up to a half minus 0.5 if I had to on Rice again at halftime. I don't have to, so I won't, but I do think Rice will win this game by more than a touchdown. So let's hope I'm right, and if they get backdoored, maybe they only win by 6. That'd be great. Maybe even 7 would be fine. So the Dolphins are really down another man in the secondary now. Duck, Burns, and Cahoe are all looks like finished for the night for Miami, and that's part of the issue. It's hard to believe that we're only in middle of September and there can be so many injuries. But a lot of teams, I mean, hell, 1/6 of the quarterbacks in the league are either out or ailing at the very least. Here's a pass to Cook out of the backfield. He gets maybe 2. So clock moving inside of 8 minutes now. Bills 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, and have never faced anything longer than 3rd and 2. Another man down for the Dolphins. I can't see who this is. Green is still in for the Reds. He's at 93 pitches going into the 9th. Top of the order for the Cubs. Win or lose, I love it. Oh man, the Bills are out here setting picks. Just leveled a guy. Ouch. Well, that's the reason he got hurt. So now the Dolphins got some white guy in playing corner. That's going to go well. 27. Jesus. This is an immediate pass to the bottom of the screen. I'm sure Buffalo's smart. Let's see if they do it. Look, yeah, they got him by himself. Is this Diggs? Oh, my. Nope, to the back, hitting the backfield, gets nothing. So at the 14, it'll be, for the first time today, it's 3rd more than 2. I think it's going to be about 3rd and 8. Clock moving at 7 minutes to go. 33 Marshall limping off. He's done for at least now. Halftime price in that college game, sorry, I gave you the side, not the total. Half hasn't moved. Half flat, half minus 0.5, half even, give or take. And total is 20.5. Mostly flat. There is some under money. There is a little bit of over money. Allen, 3rd down, they got him. Back at the 24. He was kind of running around and doing some pirouetting. That's Chubb. This Green's still throwing 100 miles an hour in the 9th inning. That was his 100th pitch of the night. Full count to Bush here for the Cubs to lead off. Sorry, with the college game at the half and the Buffalo game about ready for a field goal. This will be from 39 for Matt Prater. And he misses it wide left, an absolute shank. Deep fly ball to the warning track by Bush, corralled by Benson, 1 away. Probably the hardest hit ball for the Cubs tonight, at least in the air. 14-7, the Dolphins take over. As bad as this has seemed since their first drive of the game, they still only trail by a touchdown. At 6:03, they'll get it back. Live price Buffalo 13-52 now. I think that was more of a drive where the Bills shot themselves in the foot than the Dolphins actually stopped them, but I'll give them credit for getting into 3rd and long and then making a play once they did get them into 3rd and long. That was the first time they've been in that situation, and the bottom line is they did get a stop when they needed to. Yankees got in at 5 in the morning. They're kicking the shit out of Baltimore. Good job. Good effort. Piece of crap. Yeah, that was, I don't know whether that was a bad hold, bad snap, or what, but Prater, I mean, as soon as it kicked, it had no chance. I don't think he even hit the net so far left. Absolute, looks like my golf shot after I don't play for about 6 months. It's a straight snap hook. Fins, throw it out to the left flat for maybe a yard or two. It's H-N, the catch. We're inside of 6 minutes now. Again, the Dolphins went touchdown, punt, punt, Bills, touchdown, touchdown, and missed field goal. 4th drive of the night for the Dolphins. Third and 1, Miami, clock moving, 5 minutes to go in the half. They're at the 30, 38, 37, I guess, technically. 38. Up the middle, it's a first down. The Bills crowded the box. Miami stuck with it. Good work by the big fellas up front, especially on the left side. Gordon gets the carry and gets about 4, maybe 5. They'll move the sticks, and the clock continues to run as well. That's probably more important. Keep it away from Buffalo as long as you can before the half. Hunter Green gets beat up in Sacramento last week, and then he goes out tonight and fires a complete game shutout. 1 hit, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. That's what you call a franchise pitcher. It's going to be tough sledding in that division for a long time. At least a few more years until arbitration time for Green for the Reds, Skeen for the Pirates, and the other kid Pittsburgh's got coming up next year. That's honestly one of the best starts you'll ever see in a game that the team has to have. Whatever this guy's going to get paid, it ain't going to be enough. Reds 2 back of the Mets in the wild card. No movement in the college game. Rice is still a half-point favorite. 2nd and 6 for the Dolphins. A-Chan swing pass in the backfield. He almost gets decapitated by Thompson. There's supposed to be a blocker there. The blocker was nowhere to be. Well, the blocker was nowhere near Thompson. At least not to make a play. Now it's going to be 3rd and forever. Play just took way too long to develop. Buffalo's linebackers were supposed to be in the zone. 30 for the Dolphins. Couldn't get out to 45 to make a play, and now it's 3rd and 12. Tua rolls left, buys himself some time, fires it downfield. Complete. That's Tyreek Hill out of the 41. Looks like he may have gotten hurt. I'm not sure. Clock moving. They'll be able to take this to the 2-minute warning if they want to. Just ran across the middle. Saw Tua had some time. No, he's okay. Big play for the Dolphins. imperative not to give it back to Buffalo there with time on the clock for Allen and 2 of his timeouts left to work to try to get points before the half and then double up. Dolphins do snap it, but it was not before the 2-minute timeout. First down at the Buffalo 41, 2 minutes to go in the half. We'll check the live prices momentarily. There's all kinds of variety in the market, and I guess my Amazon Prime feed must be pretty fast because no one else is coming. They seem to be a player or two behind me. The college game, I'm literally 3 full plays behind, so that's why you'll see me going from my head over this way to up there because the TV's over here and the box score I'm looking at is over here. The box score is obviously from the stadium and much faster than my feed on the magic box on the television. Anything on Amazon Prime or any of the antenna stations, so Fox, CBS, NBC, ABC, CW, Unimas, Univision, all that stuff. I'll be ahead of you guys, and anything that's not, I won't. And then again, my other PSA, I'm here to inform, to entertain, and to educate. I'm looking forward to seeing what Mikey's system play is. I have a feeling that he's going to try to go against the Dolphins. That's I think, the system that I'm not supposed to tell the world. We'll see what happens on this drive, obviously. 2-minute warning, the live price is 10.5. At some places it's 11.5 at others. I do see a 13.5 plus 113 at Pinnacle. Obviously that would equate to roughly 11.5. So yeah, give it or take, 12 and 13 are kind of dead at this point. And yeah, the cents that go from 11.5 to 13.5 would equivalent to that. Live total 51 mostly. Sal Majorana covers the Bills. Good comment on his Twitter. Crazy how fast things can change. Bills were going in for 21-7 lead. Miami had no answers. Bad second down run, field goal missed, defensive breakdown, and Miami's on the move. I wouldn't necessarily call that a defensive breakdown. It was more like one guy missed and Tua rolled to the left. I mean, it was like he was a good execution. I don't know how you expect your defensive backs to cover Tyreek Hill from like 3.5 or 4 seconds. If he gets off the line of scrimmage, it would be quite frankly, it would be embarrassing if Tua couldn't find him open down the field once he bought himself some time like that. So, anyways, we're going to – did the ball get moved up to the 40? I thought it was at the 40. Okay, there it is, 41. Tua, pistol. Gets it, fires it over the middle, knocked away. H.N. was the intended receiver, White in the coverage. I like the thought process. I think they were going to run a draw out of right before the 2-minute warning too, so you give them some different perspective. It was just a good play by White. The receiver was open, the ball was thrown. Wasn't a bad pass. Maybe could have let him a little bit more. 2nd and 10 now. The clock stopped at 1:56. I'm sure the Dolphins would do something, like to have something where the clock runs here. Tua got a clean pocket here, finally bails on it, and fires it out of bounds. Don't like his happy feet there. Stick tight in the pocket. They gave you plenty of time. There was nobody coming. I'm guessing on 3rd and 10 they will be coming. Dolphins on the very fringes of field goal range. Here comes some Rice money offshore. Second half now, half minus money at a couple spots. Buffalo does not blitz. Catch by Hill, he makes the first guy miss and he goes for the first down. That's just speed. That's acceleration and sheer speed. He caught it after 7 yards, and before anybody could get to him, he pivoted and reverse pivoted back towards the middle and outran everybody for about 13 or 14. That's a first down, Miami. Hill comes out, clock continues to move. I think the Dolphins have converted on 3 third downs on this drive, 2 third and longs. And that's what's made them able to run the clock all the way down here to where it's going to be really tough for them to do anything. The Bills to get the ball back, do anything. Even at this point, if Miami doesn't do anything, the Bills are probably going to go in with 14 at halftime. Tua snaps it, gun. This is Gordon. 3, 4, 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards maybe. Clock inside of a minute, and Miami will call their first timeout. Second and maybe 3 at the 22. Full playbook still certainly available to you after just calling one timeout. Oh, the Bills called timeout. I don't understand that at all. Yeah, maybe somebody will explain this to me on Twitter. I mean, you have to be some kind of greedy to think you're just going to stop this team, get the ball back, and get points. Bubbly Fawn 343. Thank you, Bubbly Fawn. I'll keep that in mind for the Discord. I don't have one yet. I will be working on that going forward. It'll happen sometime in the next couple weeks. So don't be a stranger in the near future. When you see me do another one of these things, pop in again, please. So the Dolphins on their first drive took it down and scored a touchdown. Then they went 3 and out twice in a row, got almost nothing. Now they're back to 10 plays and 48 yards here. 55 seconds to go before the break. Bills still have one timeout left. I'm not quite sure what they're trying to accomplish calling that first one. Hill in motion, still trips right for Miami. Offset shotgun back to the right. Tua drops back, fires it to the back. That's Achane. And he goes out of bounds. The ref says he's inbounds. So the Bills are going to call their last timeout. I don't get it. I mean, if Miami wants to run a draw play, kick a field goal, there's going to be no time left. Obviously, that's what the Buffalo coaches want them to do. They're daring them to do something that would possibly stop the clock and then get them a chance to do something on offense. He's going to argue that maybe the forward progress was not stopped before he went out of bounds. I guess we'll see. It'll be 3rd and 7. 47 seconds left for the Dolphins, but they're not going to get their timeout back, I don't think. It's almost for sure not reviewable. So, no time. It's just a quick timeout. 3rd and 7, 47 seconds. No live price. Obviously, this close to halftime with the situation and it not being a full timeout. Hill to the right by himself. Motion left. Trips left. Miami back offset to the right. Tagovailoa drops back. A little bit of heat. They don't get him. He gets away. Runs it. It's going to be a first down. His slide came at the 19. And now it's up to the Dolphins. They have all their timeouts and plenty of time to work with. Let's see how far they're going to be willing to run it down. Now they'll call their timeout. 30 seconds to go. First half, Miami has 1st and 10 at the Buffalo 19. So now the Bills calling those 2 timeouts have come back to bite them in the ass. Miami has their complete allotment of timeouts, and they're in the red zone with plenty of time to work with. It's, I think, the third down conversion on this drive. It's turning into a long drive. It's going to be a situation where if Miami scores on the last play of the half, Buffalo will go like a full hour in real time without touching the ball. If Miami has a decent drive to start the second half. But, oh, wait a minute. Buffalo gets the ball at halftime. Scratch all that. Yeah, the most amazing thing out of it, though, really, if you take out the first drive and this drive, I mean, it's been one-way traffic, but you don't take it out. That's how football goes. The scripted plays count, and now these plays that the Dolphins are running here in the last 4 minutes of the half, they also count. It'd be a very impressive score here if they can somehow tie it. Shotgun, Tua looks left, roll back right, fires it. It's short, but incomplete. That's the kind of pass that he's got to do better at. Now you got the Miami guys saying he caught it. I don't know if it's reviewable or not. The problem is when they rule it incomplete, I don't know what can happen. Let's see. Connor says he caught it, but the call incomplete on the field. It looks like it doesn't. It's incomplete. Even though it may not be, they're not going to overturn that. 13 plays, 54 yards, 540. It's 2nd and 10, 23 seconds left here for the Fins. About to kick off the second half in Charlotte. Achane out of the backfield, gets one block, maybe another, down to the 10, the 9. Clock will stop on a Miami timeout. It'll be 3rd and maybe 3. The concept was good. (14-7). Second half underway. Rice has the ball at their own 25 to start the half. Quarterback keeps it. Oh, nice. Looks like there's nothing there, and he gets about 9 when it's all said and done. I'm going to go read the box here till we get to the half. 5 yards complete. First down, that's to Turner. Run for 2. Complete pass for 2. So 3rd and 6 at the Rice 43. 2 minutes into the second half. I'll get back to you there. Just want to keep an eye on the play-by-play for now. Tua drops back. Fires it to Hill. Complete. First down. 5, 3. Out of bounds, 11 seconds left. Another third down conversion by the Dolphins. That's a minimum of 4 on this drive. So great work by Tua in these plays where he's having to extend it and get in time. I'm really surprised that they're not bringing a little bit more pressure to him on the third downs, especially the ones that were they had a couple of them were 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8. I thought they would try to maybe bring a guy, but I guess the Bills are content to let the Dolphins do this and not get them on the big play. 11 seconds left. It's 1st and goal at the 3. Tua drops back. Slant pass, wide open. That's Waddle. And that's excellent execution by Miami. 14-13, touchdown Fins. Point pending with 8 seconds to go in the half. I'm impressed by the fact that the Dolphins clearly came into this game and were in no position to ever think about just totally laying down and calling it for this coach. I mean, it's early in the season. You don't have a players' meeting after week 1 if there's not something wrong. And then losing to New England last week was just a piss-poor effort all the way around. But good work there by the Fins. And it's comical how one team just totally kicked the shit out of the other one all throughout the half with the exception of 2 drives. And Sal Mayorana, that was such a horrible drive by the Bills defense. It defies explanation. Bills are in complete control of this game, and now it's tied at the half. All right, so there you go. 14-all at the break. The Bills get the ball at the half. Second half line is going to be about 6.5, 7. I guess the Bills get the ball first, so 7's going to be the number. I can't see 7.5. Just for the way the game's being played out, that to me seems like it has to be too high. But that we look back, if the Dolphins are in this game late, obviously I think Hill caught 3 passes on third down. And certainly the one to start the drive on the 3rd and 9 back in Miami territory was a huge play, where Tua rolled to his left and bought himself some time. I thought the Bills had a chance to get him in the backfield before he ever got out of the pocket. So super impressive there. And yeah, I expect 7. The second half total is going to be probably 26. 24.5 is in play. All that shit's about the same, really. Anything more than 24 and less than 27, there's not a lot of difference in a tie game. Out to the 31, there is 2 seconds left. The Bills have no timeouts. (14-all). We're at the intermission in Orchard Park. Bills get the ball first. 4 drives. Sorry. 3 drives for the Bills. They go touchdown, touchdown, punt. Dolphins, touchdown, punt, punt, touchdown. Let me see what the coach says here.
For your offense in the second half.
Well, I thought we moved the ball well. We stalled out. Now here we got enough points at these 3 right there. All right. In position. Go figure. We got a good one. 14-all. But next, the State Farm.
Sounds like Al Michaels is on the favorite. He said, "Go figure. We got a good one." Anyways, yeah, no, I mean, it's clearly was one-way traffic in that half without the first half and the first drive and the last drive. That's not the way it works. Tua did run for a first down with his legs, and two big third down passes with third and intermediate or third and long, and that's a good finish. That was Waddle's first catch of the night. He was plus 250 or more to score a touchdown. Again, 14 all touchdown or halftime lines are coming. Surprisingly enough, I see less than 7. Square balls are going to be on the favorite. I think the most sharp people will probably hold their nose and say, "Give me more Miami." It's hard to expect it to be more than 6.5 though, if the game line closed 11. That's what it is. I mean, the first half line, obviously, I told you before, was 7, and that was without anybody knowing that the Dolphins are going to get the ball first. You know that Buffalo's getting the ball first here, so I personally would think it's up to you how you want to book it. Circa's actually got a very, very good line for the way that you book wise guys. That's to use a line that's low but the juice high. That's actually a good way to book the squares, to be honest. If you don't want the wise guys taking the dog plus money. Yeah, I don't know. 6.5 minus a quarter in town. It's basically 7 offshore everywhere. I would open it like 7 the dog a quarter, or 7 the dog 20, and made sure that you write the first bet on Buffalo at 7 even or whatever. And then if they want to lay the favorite, it's going to be square money. If they want the dog, they're getting a better number, but eventually if it keeps coming favorite money at 7, you're booking it in the 7 pool. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're at 6.5, yeah, it's all favorites. But if the game actually falls 7, then you made a grave error. You're giving it away. I'm curious to see how many of these people in town continue in the 6.5 pool. It's basically one-way traffic so far in Buffalo. 7 minus money now at a couple places. 7 flat. The total. There is a 26.5 at Chris. There is a 24.5 also in town at a couple spots. 24.5 over a quarter at Bet Online. 25.5 flat. Over 15 at Amapola. 26 over 15 at Buckeye. 26 under 15 at Bet War and Paradise. I would probably be in the 26 pool, maybe the 25.5 pool at over money. Remember, most of that shit's all the same between 24.5 and 26, and even the 26.5. Rise right down the field. Owls in 21-9 after the point. That's 7 plays, 75 yards. Back-to-back touchdown drives by Rice to bookend the first and second quarters. I'm sorry, the second and third quarters. So Charlotte briefly had a 9-7 lead. We had to put a stop to that bullshit with 2 quick touchdowns before they get the ball back. Actually, they did get the ball back. They had a field goal miss. Sorry. I'm mixing my games together here. So, yeah, again, 7 plays, 75 yards. The touchdown was capped by Alexander running it in from 13. 21-9. That comes at 11:33 to go in the third quarter. Live price 12-ish, 11.5-ish out there. The total's 47, 47.5, 48. Keep you posted here as the next drive is underway. For Charlotte, they'll start it after the touchback at their own 25. Tua, 12 of 18, 66 passing yards for a touchdown. Allen, 11 of 13, 97 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Again, this is a game that's been punctuated by long drives, not a whole lot of plays. So time-consuming drives. Again, the Bills have only had the ball 3 times. 2 touchdowns in the last drive. They were actually in the red zone. Just kind of got sloppy late in the drive and then missed a short field goal. Halftime price now 7 minus money pretty much everywhere. All the places in town gave up in the 6.5 pool. It was like 6.5 minus 35. There might have even been a 6.5 minus 40 before they all tapped out. Unsurprising. 7 was always going to have to be the number with Buffalo getting the ball first. Total 24.5 over money, 25.5 over money. There is a 26 out there, a couple of 26s. Nothing's got under money. So yeah, I mean 14 all with Miami's offense showing some signs of life. And now remember, let's watch what happened when Buffalo played their first home game at night. What was that, 11 nights ago against Baltimore? It feels like 11 years ago. But the second half, they scored a bajillion points in that game. Of course, Buffalo came from 40-25 down in the fourth quarter to win it. So, yeah, I would think that over is the way to play it, just based on what happened there and what's happening or what has happened in the last. With Buffalo's moving the ball every single time they've had the ball, every single time they've had it, and the Dolphins having two decent drives as well that both resulted in touchdowns. Most important thing for the Fins to say in this game is that there haven't been any turnovers. And that's their only chance to be successful, is they got to make less mistakes. When you're less talented than the other team, you have to make sure that you play a flawless game, especially on the road. So I've been impressed with the Dolphins' execution so far. They've been, like I said, clearly outplayed on defense. They're outmanned. Buffalo's got probably one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in the league. And Miami's got a barrage of injuries over there. I can see Buffalo really catering their game plan in the second half to try to throw the ball to the outside with Miami down 3 corners now. I mean, they had a white guy in there on the last play. I mean, if that guy's in the game, no offense, I mean, not playing the race card, but I am. How many white corners do you see in the league? They don't exist. And this guy's like the 5th stringer. You know what I mean? He's probably come up from the practice team. Rice gets a 3 and out. So excellent work there to get it back. There's a penalty involved too, so they actually moved him all the way back to it was 2nd and 22, and then they sacked him for a loss of 5 on 3rd and 22. 50-yard punt to the Rice 42. Yeah, 3 and out. They'll start at their own 42. 10-10 to go. Live price 13.5, 14, and 14.5 are all out there with Rice up by 12. 21-9, 10-10 to go in the third. The totals are 47 flat and 48 under a bunch. Under 30, 48 under 22. So that's that. Again, the halftime price on this game, about 4.5 minutes before the second half starts. Buffalo is 7 and 24.5 all the way up to 26. Mostly Buffalo money for sure early. Once it got to 7, that pretty much, or 7 flat, that pretty much put a stop to it, or close to it. And again, the total's been all over money until it got to 26, and then again put a stop to it. Anything less than that's got over money on the juice. And again, no arguments with any of that. There's a bunch of dogs running around out on the field in Buffalo. I mean, what if they pee or poop? I don't like dogs on the field in the middle of the game. Bad job. Brewers are in the middle of putting a rally together against Anaheim, which is good news for me. I have over in that game. They hadn't done anything until this inning. Garcia in for the Angels now. It's 4-2 Milwaukee, bottom 7. They have 2 guys in scoring position. Base hitter here will make me feel like they have a pretty good chance to get it there still. What do we go over? Over 8.5. No, over 8 minus 110. Nope, fly ball. That will score the 1 run, 5-2. Keep going and give me at least 8. Commercials in both games. The Rice game, again, hasn't started out of the timeout yet. 21-9. I gave you the prices there. The halftime line's the same. I'm going to call it a night here pretty soon. Barrage of reasons, mostly because it's a long weekend again. I still have some work to do on a couple of things. And again, we're not to the point where this isn't varsity action yet. I'm still in the JV portion of the schedule. My guy Mikey, no play, he says, not surprising. doesn't fit the system. And to be honest, once the Dolphins started moving the ball that drive, I was impressed enough that there can never be a lay. I think the price is correct, and I agree with him. There's nothing in the second half for me that stands out in either game. Root for Rice if you have nothing going on in the college. The NFL game has been entertaining, more so than I expected. Certainly, it started out good with Miami scoring. I'm not rooting for the Dolphins. I'm just rooting for it to be close. And then it got out of hand there for a minute or two when the Bills scored 2 touchdowns, got 2 stops, and then were on their way for a third. But once the Dolphins found a way to stiffen up, mostly with Buffalo's self-inflicted wounds, it must be said, and the Bills missed a short field goal, to give the Dolphins credit for taking it down the field, converting on third down at least 3 if not 4 times, and to tie it up. So good work to stay in it. If you're outmanned and you can find a way to keep it close, a lot of times in this league you find a way to pull an upset. So let's see if the Dolphins are going to be good enough to hang around and keep it competitive, and then try to find a way to make enough plays to win it in the fourth quarter. I will be back with you again tomorrow. There are 2 college games. I'll be back for the first half of those, so another couple 2.5 hour, maybe 2 hours total with you, give or take. That will be when Tulsa plays Oklahoma State. Kickoff is at 7:30 on ESPN, and then Iowa Rutgers is on Big Fox at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. I'll be with you at the start of that first kick between Tulsa and Oklahoma State. That game currently, Oklahoma State has been bet down from 12.5 open at Circa. It was as high as 14 at a couple places. It's now down to 11. The total is 54.5. There are a couple of 55s out there at open 57. And Iowa Rutgers open 3.5 and 43 at Circa. It's now down to 2.5 and 46. There is a 47 out there as well. My main man Richie Baccelleri is on Rutgers +3. I wish him luck. I have no opinion. I made Iowa 3.5, and I made Oklahoma State 15. I'll have nothing to either one of these games, even though Oklahoma State is as low as 10.5. Even at 10, I don't think I can get behind Oklahoma State. I'm a little bit anti-Tulsa, but Oklahoma State's really, really bad, I think, too. So have to see how they rebound from getting beat 69-3 at Oregon off their bye. Let's see what else we got going here. About to kick it. Miami with the ball in the tee. Again, the second half price is going to close 7-7 minus money. Buffalo 24.5 over a bunch to 25.5 flat. There is a 26 out there again at the end as well. Yeah, this game is on Amazon Prime, and the Rice and Charlotte game is on ESPN. The only other sporting events going on, you got girls basketball. In the playoffs, there's game 3s tonight. I think those are on ESPN too. Don't quote me on that. And the baseball schedule, the Dodgers in San Francisco are about to go at it. That game goes in about 20 minutes. Webb and Yamamoto. The Yankees are up 7-0, top 9 at Baltimore, and Milwaukee's up 5-2 at the end of 7 against Anaheim. So the Yankees are done in the 9th. So bottom of the 9th, 7-0 Baltimore, and that's that. Yeah, I'm going to call it. Enjoy the games. Thanks for checking me out. I will be back with you again tomorrow, sometime close to 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. I'm going to put that in the chat as well as I sign off and call it a day. I'm going to put it in there beforehand just in case anybody checks it out. That'll be that. Let's see if anybody chimed in here. Tyler Metz in the YouTube chat. Sorry I missed this. Let me respond to him because I don't know if he's still around or not. Maybe he'll get the chat. Missed this earlier. Rice big in college. right, so that's that. I do appreciate everybody checking it out. Looks like tonight I had a few more viewers than I did last week, so I do appreciate you hanging out with me for the last couple hours. The Bills are on the move to start the second half. There is a castigo, which is Spanish for flag. Pañuelo also translates, but castigo is much more amusing. First down Bills. I think they're into Miami territory here. Live price, a brief update, is 7 minus money and 54. The total there is some 52.5. So as the clock continues to move, that's how the live line works. The algorithm spits out average points per minute, and it just, wherever they're at on the field, it kind of helps determine that too. But that's up to the guy that's booking the game on the live. I refuse to use the word trader. That person has some say as well, in addition to what's in the algorithm. Bills down to the 30. Shakir inside the 30. 2 minutes into the second half there. Rice is about to kick a 55-yard field goal. I can't see how this will be good. No, it's going to be short and right. Wasn't short, just missed it to the right. 21-9 Rice leads Charlotte. Charlotte takes over. I'll give you the live price before I bail. Actually, I won't. They've already got the ball back. False start, 2-yard completion, incompletion, and a loss of 5. 4th and 18, they're going to have to punt. My TV feed is so woefully behind there that I can't possibly continue to talk to you about what's happening there. I'm not going to. I swore I'd call this thing before 2 hours tonight. I'm going to be a man of my word. Nobody else has any comments or questions, I don't believe. I appreciate you hanging out with me for a bit tonight. Sweat the rest of the games. Good luck to you in whatever you've got. Except if you've got UNC-Charlotte, then I can wish you good health and not good luck. Back tomorrow. I'll see you in about 21 hours and 40 minutes, give or take. Be well. God bless. Good luck. Good night.